right, good evening. So today your topic is a review. It is equivalent fractions. So in the topic section of the notepaper, go ahead and write equivalent fractions. All right, two fractions are equal if they name the same amount of the whole. So different fractions that name the same amount of the whole are called equivalent fractions. Now you need to look at your notepaper because I wrote two sentences there and you have to fill in the blank. So this is going to help you take some good notes. I'm going to repeat what I just said. Different fractions that name the same amount of the whole are called equivalent fractions. Okay, equivalent fractions. Look at these two circles. They are shading in the same amount. However, the fraction is different. So if we look at this first one right here, we have only one side shaded, but there are two total parts of this whole. So for this, we know that our denominator is a 2 because there's two equal parts. And we know that 1 is shaded in, so 1 over 2, or 1/2, is our fraction. But if we look down here, it's the same amount that's shaded in, but the parts are a different amount. So this whole is divided into 4 sections, okay? So there's 4 equal parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. So our denominator is 4. And if we look at it, how many parts are shaded in? You should have thought or said 2. 2 parts are shaded in. So we look at these two fractions, 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. So equivalent is also meaning equal to, so 1/2 is equal to 2/4. They are different fractions, but they are equivalent. They make up the same amount. We can also use number lines to figure out equivalent fractions. So if we look at this number line, it's only divided into 2 parts, okay? So here, it's only divided into 2 parts. We know that our denominator is a 2, and the point is on this one section, okay? So we fill in this whole section here, we have filled in one section of our number line. So our fraction is now 1 over 2. We can also use the same number line, but divide it into more parts. If we look at this one, it is divided into 4 parts now, and we now have to shade in until we get to this point. So starting from here, we shade in and we shade in. We shaded in 2 sections of this number line, so our fraction again is out of 4, 2/4. This shows the equivalent fractions of 1/2 and 2/4. The point is in the same section, but because it's divided into more parts, the fractions are different. So to find equivalent fractions, the size of the whole must be the same. So for example, I'm going to use a circle to explain. Right here I have my half, okay? If I draw a shape like this, am I going to be able to know that it's equivalent? The answer is no, because look, the size is completely different. So even if I shaded in this much, just like that one, this one is still bigger because look how gigantic it is compared to the little one. So when you use models or number lines, you have to make sure that they're the same size, even if you're going to be using a rectangle, okay? Here is my rectangle. I'm going to divide it into half, shade in 1/2. I have to make sure that this rectangle is the same as the one I'm comparing it to. I cannot make it too big or too small, or else it's not going to give me the correct answer. Now, if I divide this one up into more parts, I can do 3 of them, I can do 4 of them. Let's do 4. Now, if I divide this into 4 equal parts, and I shade into this half mark right here, I now have shaded in 2/4. So again, it's showing me that half is equivalent to 2/4. They are the same amount, but they're just a different fraction. So when you are making a model on paper, make sure you're making them the same size. make sure you're making the parts of the whole the same size as well. That can mess you up too. Okay, so once you make sure that the holes are the same size, look at the size of the parts of each hole. They also have to be the same. Now we're going to look at the size of the parts in each hole to name the equivalent fractions. So let's look. In this first model right here, I have 2 equal parts. So each part is what? If I were to label this one part, it would be 1 over 2 and 1 over 2. So I know that each part, so one of these, is equal to 1 over 2. Now if I look at this model, it's the same size, it's just that my parts are a different size. I would have to now label these. So I'm going to label these. They are out of 4 total parts. They are each 1/4. So each part is 1/4. This is very important. I want you to have this in your notes section. So draw exactly this and write each part is 1/2, each part is 1/4. Pause it now and then you can continue when you're ready. Okay, so now if I were to shade in 1/2 of my top shape, then I could find out how many is equivalent to 1/2. So if I look up here, I have to make the same amount. If I first only shaded 1/4, I can already see they are not equivalent yet. So 1/4 and 1/2 are not equivalent. But if I shade in another one, it looks like it's the same amount. So I have now discovered again that 1/2 and 2/4 is equivalent, okay? Remember, you have to make your models the same size or you're going to get the wrong answer. So I have now shaded in 1/2 and 2/4 and I have found that it's equivalent. Okay, so here is your practice problem. I want you to draw what I have up here. This model is showing one hole split into 1/2 and 1/2, okay? In the next 2 models, you are going to divide it again, split it up into equal parts, okay? So you're going to split it up into equal parts. And then you are going to shade in 1/2. And of your equal parts here, you are going to shade in how much, okay? Then you're going to tell me 1/2 is equivalent to what fraction? You tell me this. And you'll also do this down here. 1/2 is equivalent to what fraction, okay? These need to be different. You cannot just split them into fourths and then split the next one into fourths. This is going to be the same answer. So you could split this one into fourths. The next one can be into 6/8, things like that. But it has to be equivalent. Show me how you can make equivalent fractions from 1/2. So 1/2 is equivalent to, you show me on here, and you write 1/2 equals here and 1/2 equals here. Okay? This is a review, so I'm hoping you can do this without issues. Do this in the practice problem section of your note paper. If you have trouble, try your best. Turn it in tomorrow. And if you have any questions or you're unsure about anything, always put it in the question section of your notes. Okay? I will see you tomorrow.